And they're finally, guys, come on, start talking about Star Wars. Basically, what they've heard have confirmed what Doomcock posted, that Kennedy is trying to convince the Bobs that the backlash is really Gina Carano's fault, and they're all, just fans of Favreau, and they really aren't. Trust me, my fans will show up. They'll make up, the few subscriptions that, were canceled. There are not tens of thousands of people who canceled Disney Plus. There are hundreds of thousands. I would dare say maybe even millions. The big shareholders meeting, the one where all the big guys show up, is on March 9th. It would behoove the Bobs to do something before then. Okay, this doesn't look good. Okay, look at the Bad Batch video, on Star Wars channel. It is getting ratioed to death. But she's desperately trying to blame Favreau for all this. And how, I don't know, because, and I'll tell you something. Disney's starting to see through it. Her own people in her own office are starting to see through it. There's evidence right now of Disney employees infiltrating the so-called Twitter hashtag mobs and egging them on. She just needs to go. She will never come out and face the fans. This is fucking. Well, how? I mean, if all right, here's the deal. They're probably not going to tell the truth about how many shareholders, about how many subscriptions to Disney Plus that were lost. But they can sure see that people aren't watching the shows that they used to, that Star Wars isn't getting a big enough push anymore. And this is all Kathleen Kennedy's doing. She orchestrated this. The woman is sick. She's a mental case. She's insane. She has to go. I don't understand what they're doing. It is almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast. 2 Central, 1 Pacific. And it'll be noon in a few minutes on the West Coast. And we still have a few hours for news to come out. I think today would be the perfect day to say sayonara to her. I'm speechless. But she's trying desperately to convince them, and she's scared because now people within Lucasfilm are starting to come out and complain about her. Okay, this is big. It's not like she's Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada, who's actually fucking good at her job. She's a phony, lying, sanctimonious bitch. That's what she is. Hey, Dave, I'm just going over what they said. So yeah, the backlash is real. But what I want to tell you guys is this: be selective. If you're gonna go on any of those videos, hashtag Team Favreau, Team Mandalorian, fire Kathleen Kennedy. We love Gina Carano. Hashtag we support Gina, or we stand with Gina. Whatever. Do not just go off, okay, on everything. And make sure when you're going off on a video, it's not Ahsoka, it's not Mandalorian, or anything else. Support those shows. Show the Bobs that the fans love that stuff. Show the Bobs that the High Republic and the rest of the shit is stuff we don't want. What she's trying to do is she's trying to take away the budget, too, of the MCU type budgets that Favreau has to work with. They gave him a lot of money to play with, and it paid off big time. Now it's sort of like because she was able to do this. And really, I'm going to challenge the Twitter mob thing. How many of those real accounts have 50 or 60 bot accounts that they just, put the Fire Gina hashtag thing on and let them fly? You're welcome, Dave. I mean, oh, and I got him. I want you to know I got him. So, thank you. But and here's the thing I have heard rumors about her own Me Too issues. And I'm very sorry to say this, but you do not get as high in Hollywood as she's gotten without trying to seduce everything in a skirt or a pair of pants you can. And the people, if you look at the picture of her surrounded with all the women, she surrounds herself with these young women. Think about it. Think about it. Okay? I have a friend who is a movie director, and now he runs his own studio, who basically said his girlfriends would come back and say the casting director said I had the part if I slept with the producer. Male or female, it didn't matter who the producer was. Think about it. I want you guys to understand that I don't think seeing Kennedy with all those girls, and only girls were allowed in that story group, and well, Pablo Hidalgo is a vagina too, so it wouldn't surprise me, okay? It's not like I said, the casting couch has existed since Mary Pickford in the 1910s, all right? When Hollywood first started in a warehouse in New York, okay? That's where it started. Kathleen Kennedy, as far as I'm concerned, is no different than Harvey Weinstein. I bet you $1,000. And it would behoove the Bobs, if they really want to get rid of the cunt, to gather as much information and then dump it in the press, which is what I would do. Why would you, look, if there's shit on Iger, everybody already knows it, so why would you even waste your time? And you don't need to do that with Kennedy, because I've heard there are allegations, okay? Not just you have to send somebody over and then to get them. It's already out there, okay? It wouldn't surprise me at all. I know I'm right about this. I know I am, in my guts. And if that's the case, she's done, okay? It would make Ellen DeGeneres look like Saint Teresa. I'm not kidding you. Mother Teresa. I'm not kidding. This shit doesn't, and it wouldn't surprise me. You want to talk about Bob Iger? I could give a shit. I don't care. I don't fucking care anymore. The casting couch is what it is, okay? But if she threatens them, him and Chapek with that, I don't think Chapek, because Chapek came over from the parks, so he wasn't involved with the movies at all. I think that the casting couch shit is probably Iger, Horn, and the people that were involved in the movies. That would be their thing. And if Chapek has that, it's like, who cares? But here's the deal. No one cares about that anymore. I don't think you could get anybody. I mean, really, but I tell you one thing, came out, some 25-year-old intern or young up-and-coming writer, script, movie writer or storyboard artist or whatever, comes out and blows the whistle on Kathleen Kennedy. That's how you get her. That's exactly how you get her. I don't think they have to do that. I just think they have to say, this, you did this all. You orchestrated the whole fucking thing. and now it's time for you to go. Okay. Will they do it? I don't know. I really think she stepped in at this time. I don't, I don't think she does anymore, Dave. I talked to a couple of people I know, a name you do know, a name I'd like to, if I can ever get my studio up and running so I can actually have people in that I can actually have a conversation with. I would really, I really think that this time she really did step on it, in it. I really think this is a bridge too far. She is, here's the deal, and here's the part. It's the going behind Favreau's back, which is bullshit. We all know that. It's the going behind the Bob's back the second time. She went behind their back. See, this is how it happened. She put that news thing out there saying Gina didn't work for them, whatever, quote unquote, technically firing her. Then sent the email about it to the Bobs. Iger, whom Favreau answers to, came back and said, and talked to Favreau, who freaked out. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Favreau doesn't work for her. So the idea that she has some sort of power over him doesn't jibe. I don't know how she could put it out there that she fired Gina. But, you know, depending on what Gina's contract said, and technically Favreau is doing contract work for Lucasfilm and Disney, not necessarily working for Lucasfilm. There's a difference. Remember, who does Favreau answer to? He answers to Bob Iger. Okay? Not her. But she's still able to get away with this behind their backs and undermine John. Now she's trying to blame Gina and, you know, like the few fans, of course, that, like Gina, we're racist, sexist, homophobic bigots, here's the deal. She doesn't believe that really. Okay. She doesn't believe that at all. She just hates us because we don't like what she did. Okay. We're supposed to kiss her bony fucking ass all the time, no matter what, no matter how bad it sucks. Okay. It's like she's the new chef that took over for, I don't know, name a popular chef that we all like. Gordon Ramsay. Okay. And, and I would like to actually eat a steak made by that guy because, beautiful, one of those beautiful chop houses. And we would go there all the time, right? This is hypothetical. And get this lovely ribeye and, these lovely sides to share and a beautiful bottle of Opus 12 or whatever. And hang out, talk. The chef would come out and talk to us. But, he's a genius in the kitchen. Everything, all the sides are his recipes that he made up himself, okay? Everything is from the ambiance in the restaurant to the wine cellar to the kinds of grades of beef and pork and lamb that come in are his, and they're top choice, okay? So he's like, I'm thinking about selling out. I'm thinking about, retiring. I'm almost 70 years old. So he sells out, and he sells out to his assistant director chef. That was kind of in and out of the kitchens there for years. Sells out to her. So you go back the first month because you go out there and eat once a month. This is the time when you go out and have your steak. And sit down, and the ambience doesn't seem right. And the bottle, you can't get the Opus, that vintage of Opus 12 or 2 or whatever it's called, that you want. But you get a decent bottle. So you're sitting there sharing this. You know, it's not a bad bottle, but it's not quite to the, you know. And you come to find out because you know the bartender who's like that when the new chef owner came in, that she sold off all the really good wine because she needed to pay some bills and she wanted to run a slightly different, less, you know, she wanted to make the restaurant more of the people. And you notice that on the menu, you've got things like Beyond Beef, vegetarian entrees, kind of stuff that doesn't fit in a steakhouse. Okay. So you order your ribeye. It's not the big 2-inch thick ribeye that that you'd eat like a quarter of. Take the rest of it home for steak sandwiches. If it was bone-in ribeye, then you give the bone to the dog. It's a thinner one, and it's not as tasty. The marbling isn't quite there. It's not the same quality. The sides aren't what they were. They're not as good. And you're like, you kind of go to the manager who's new. What's going on here? I mean, if you get why is the menu changed, and B, where's the quality? And he basically says, well, we're trying something new to bring in other customers, and this is just what we serve now. Hey, Anton, how would that make you feel? Would that piss you off? So you go, okay, to yourself. We'll come back here one more time. Come back there one more time. Your husband orders his big, thick New York strip, and it's a skinny one. It's terrible. It's terrible. You get your ribeye, and it's just it's a gristly, thin cut of garbage, and it's well done, and you eat rare to medium rare. Yeah, but Dakari, she's been able to fuck with a lot of things, even in her isolation, and that's why they have to get her out of there. So the problem with this restaurant is that the new customers that they're expecting aren't coming. Oh, I wish, Dakari. They're not coming to the restaurant. They're not standing outside waiting to get a table. They're just not. And that is what Disney is seeing with Kennedy's version of Star Wars. Okay? That's it. That's what it is. Those customers that she keeps saying are out there aren't out there. The people that you see forcing, fire Gina Carano, la-di-da, blase, are bots. They're not real. And everybody knows it. I mean, you'd have to be fucking stupid, to think any of that's real. Okay? You really would. I find it really fascinating that Disney can't see it. It is noon, 8 minutes after noon in California, and still nothing about this shit from the Bobs. Do they even care? I'm starting to think they don't care. I will do everything I can to protect Jon Favreau and The Mandalorian, but by God, I am not coming back to Disney Plus. And the reason simply is this. That fucking bitch goes. Okay? Let's say like that restaurant has somebody else kind of takes it over, a big company. And they bring in a hot chef who sees what the old stuff, who used to eat there. I don't think you're right on that, Frank. You seem to forget that Disney Plus isn't making any money. It's not going to be profitable till 2024. Okay, so this hot new chef, he comes back and he starts tinkering with the menu. The company gives him a lot of money to get really high quality ingredients, and you see these big beautiful things of basil, this perfect basil. In fact, this chef decides they're going to have an herb garden on the roof, and they build a greenhouse. So every day, the sous chefs and their assistants can go up there, cut what they need, and bring it downstairs. So there's always good stuff there. He makes sure they get the best fruits and vegetables. He makes sure they get the best chocolate for the desserts and whatever else, the best eggs. They start spending money on grade A beef. He introduces something different. He introduces Kobe beef, all right, from Japan. So there's something on the menu that if you order a 6-ounce strip of Kobe beef, grade or A5, which is the highest quality, that ends up being about $500. And they start finally seeing a profit. What does the head chef, who suddenly realizes she's being undermined by this hot new chef, who you start seeing things coming in, like a new money manager show up, a new front office person, like the front of the restaurant person shows up, a new person that helps run the back, doing her job. What does she do? She undermines what the new chef is doing and makes sure if her stuff is bad, then the entire restaurant goes down if people don't like it. And that's exactly what Kennedy is doing. That's exactly what she is doing. And it is fascinating to me that we have had no word at all from fucking Disney. It's like, it's silent. Nothing. No word. You guys know what the email addresses are. Robert.Chapek@disney.com. Robert.A.Iger, I-G-E-R. That's how you spell Iger. @disney.com. Write them. Tell them she's trying to manipulate them to take Favreau's budget. Tell them she's trying to screw, probably with Feige. Okay, she's lost her mind. Tell them you know what's been going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, that she's being basically terrorizing her own staff now. Tell them that. It's out there. They have to know, and they have to confront it. What the fuck are they doing? I can't even. I don't understand. I scratch my head and go, you can't be that incompetent. You can't let this woman do this. How is this possible? How? It's like, I don't even know what you're talking about there. COVID, whatever. I'm literally, it staggers the imagination that she can fucking do whatever the fuck she wants and no one does a goddamn thing. Who does she do what? Who is her boss? Who? Does she fucking run Disney now? Is that it? Yeah, my temper's up. My Norwegian temper's up. My German temper's up. My Welsh temper's up. My Celtic temper. I am livid. I don't understand why she gets away with it. It literally gets me so frustrated I get to tears because I can't. Every one of us would have been fired for far less. Every one of us who live in the real world. I don't understand how she can just flaunt her her position at the Bobs, and what are they doing? Beating off together somewhere? I'm sorry to be vulgar, but I can't. I don't. What are they doing? What the actual fuck are they doing? I mean, I sit there and I go, if she worked for me, she'd have been gone after Solo bombed. I'd say, bring all your stuff. We need to have a conversation. I don't know either. That's my thing, and it's really frustrating. I don't know if they're trying to build up a case, if they're actually afraid of the backlash. From what I heard, and this is from Cam, is this, that her reputation is not what it was when she went in as president of Lucasfilm. She is basically now looked at and she can't, there's a reason why she hasn't left. She actually was looking for a new job last summer. And because the excuse was COVID, but the real excuse was everybody knows she's a goddamn failure and no one wants her around. And that's the bottom line. You know, ironclad contract, ironclad bomb tract. That's what I say. She's probably violated it 65 times to nothing. Okay? She's probably violated it. She's probably, fucked around. None of her movies, except for TFA, ever made their mark. Ever made what they were projected to. Hey, what's your name? Hi. When she goes, I don't think they're going to have a new head of Lucasfilm. They've already got 2 people doing her job. Michelle Rejwan, who came over from Bad Robot, and Mohsen Gupta. I don't understand Lonely Seth. I really don't understand what they're doing. Mohsen Gupta is the one that kind of handles what KK should be handling for the streaming. So she's working with Favreau. And she's basically the production representative for streaming and content, and the money and all the rest of that stuff from Lucasfilm. Again, remember, say this together. Jon Favreau's a showrunner. He works for Disney. He doesn't work for Lucasfilm. And Rejwan is probably working with both Taika Waititi and Kevin Feige. Now, the Feige thing no one's brought up. And that's the thing that really, really, really interests me a great deal, because if you had, he can't be happy with this. He can't be. I can't imagine him going, yay, Kathy. Because look at the backlash at Star Wars in general, because what she did. And it's all her fault. And everybody knows it. The idea that she thinks she can fool people into thinking basically that she had to fire Gina, which she didn't. That Gina did nothing wrong. She didn't do anything that was fireable. The bullshit that they pulled on Gina, which everybody knows now. But we know we know that now Kennedy's going after other people. Her target's Jon Favreau. So she's probably going after Rosario Dawson for a real bullshit thing. I mean, the issues with Rosario Dawson are less than they are with Gina. Let me put it that way. And probably Bill Burr. Okay, probably Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers might be a Democrat, but he's not woke. And he basically kind of intimated he was not woke. Okay? It's just, it's sad. It's frustrating. It's angering to me that she's allowed herself to, she's allowed to do this. I mean, maybe they're waiting, for her to really hang herself, but it's like, she couldn't hang herself more if she put the rope around her neck and kicked the horse. She's dangling at the end of the fucking rope. Get her! And the feeling is she's scared now. Now she's scared. It's like, and like I said, if she has a Me Too in her life, in her past, in her present, and the Bobs know about it, why the fuck aren't they using it? If she said, I can ruin you, I'll do this, I'll do that, it's like, well, we own the press, we're Disney. I think if they got together, they could. I don't know how much. I think what would be interesting is to be able to get the president of JP Morgan Chase's email and Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo. Why wouldn't she be scared? They see through her shit. You were listening? You were on Midnight's Edge, Dominique. I saw you there. Jesus Christ. She just pulled off yet another let's go behind the backs of the bosses, fuck around and fuck with John Moore. Let's undermine him more. And it's, you might as well, for Kathy, wear a goddamn sign carried above her head saying, I'm trying to sabotage anything good that's Star Wars because I fucking didn't have anything to do with it. And that's exactly what she's fucking doing. Okay? The Bobs can't be that stupid. They might be afraid of what she knows about them, or they might be afraid of you fired a woman, Kathy Kennedy, And the only people in Hollywood that think she's anybody are the shill writers that she's probably got in her back pocket, like the 5 of them, and the employees that are still her little maggot flying monkeys who infiltrated Twitter with their bullshit. All right? Because Gina said she knew where the Fire Gina Carano thing came from. It came from inside Lucasfilm. Okay? That was orchestrated by that fucking cunt Kennedy. All right? There's absolutely... Well, will they though? Again, what is the email for the guy that runs the hedge funds, that the investors, like all the big ones, like BlackRock or Black River? There's another big. There's one. What is their email, and why don't they ask those questions? Okay, because it's their money that's going down the drain, ultimately. I know it is, and it's really, really. It's really, 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 really time for them to fire her. And it is, what time is it now? It's 12. It's about 25 after 2. And oh, Maze is here. Hey, Maze, how you doing? But yeah, she's running scared now because it's coming out. I mean, Doomcock is probably right now talking to somebody who saw her pull this shit. And they are pissed. Kathy Kennedy did something in her office that pissed off the people that work for her. Okay? It wasn't elaborated. Doomcock knows what it is, and he didn't say anything. But it wasn't elaborated. Okay? So she may have a mutiny on her hands. Okay? She may have a mutiny. Okay? And they may actually be going to Disney right now saying, we can't do this anymore. You have to get rid of her. And if that's the case, we know what happens next because shit rolls downhill. The bitch is gone and all the troublemakers are gone because they won't have a leg to stand on. Okay, you worry about what Twitter's doing. Fucking A. Twitter wants people to pay for tweets. Now, they just implemented that. How long do you think Twitter's going to last? I don't think Twitter will be around in 6 months. I said a year. About a month ago, when they gave the president the boot. I was like, fuck you, I'm done. But they want people to pay for tweets. I mean, no one's gonna want to do that. Here's a question: how many of those troll farmers, those teenagers who also have troll accounts, are gonna want to pay $1 a tweet? They can't afford that. They can't. Twitter just shot itself in the head. Twitter, years ago was a fun place to hang out. You go on there, talk about movies, play music, have an irreverent conversation. Of course, there's politics in there. When Andrew Breitbart was still alive, and I followed him, and I would chat with him on and off on one of my old accounts. I had at one time an account of 5,000 followers. Okay, if not more, I can't remember. And the woke shit started when the woke shit got to the point where it got really, really bad. When, of course, we were getting, us girls were getting dick pics too. And there's some really sick shit, but they took care of it. They would go after, people being assholes and would ban them. And I had this great thing. I got into a debate with a girl who demanded we respect her for being trans. She called herself Enfy's Nest, which is just a shitty name for a Star Wars character. And she demanded more trans people in Star Wars. People just like her. The narcissism. And I said to her, if that's the case, why don't you make up your own space opera and have trans people in that? Okay? Why are you demanding that we change Star Wars to fit you? I got suspended permanently for saying that to her. Now I want to ask you guys a question. Was that hateful? No. No, it wasn't. Not hateful at all. What it was brutally fucking honest. That's when I noticed Twitter was starting to go downhill. And it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then Tumblr decided to kick all the perverts out. And they all came over to Twitter. And it's become this raucous, festering boil of shit on the ass of humanity, which is what Twitter is now. And it was a perfect place for discourse with a little weirdness going on. And the politics got heated. But it was a fun place to hang out. And now it's like, just die already. Fucking A, just fucking die already. Okay? It's over for Twitter. And it's over for these people. And I'll tell you something. They actually think this doesn't affect them. Somehow Twitter will always be there magically. And I'm going to tell you something else. The same thing for Facebook. Eventually, something will come along someplace else that's better, more efficient, more fun. And all your friends, all the people you're connected with, are all going to go over there, and Facebook will die. Even dyed-in-the-wool Democrats get sick and tired of being limited in what they're allowed to say. All right? That's true. But let's go back to Kennedy. So she took a chance on this right when Twitter is starting to go south. Okay? Twitter doesn't have any cash on hand. They're trying desperately to make money. They're trying to implement this subscription pay to tweet thing, and it's gonna die. That platform can't survive. it has lost its usefulness, okay? And the reason why it's lost its usefulness is simply this. It stopped being a fun place to go, okay? And it started being a place for bullies to bully people that didn't agree with them, okay? And people like Kathleen Kennedy and her flying monkeys don't realize that their little thing, how they fight wars, is over. What's Pablo Hidalgo gonna do without Twitter? Can you imagine? His job? I mean, I still have this motherfucking thing I haven't burned yet. Let's see. Biking through Endor. Look at that. Wow. That's some in-depth stuff. You know what that is? Cut and paste. That's it. But we're supposed to cheer for everything Star Wars puts out, whether it's good or not. And we're supposed to kiss Kathleen Kennedy's bony ass, even when she's fucking with what makes Star Wars good. All right? Or we all should just die, because that's what she expects us to do, so her new imaginary audience shows up. And they never will. I mean, it's hilarious to see that she actually believes that there's an audience for her shit, her garbage. I mean, I'm literally like, no, Kathy, there isn't. Okay, there isn't a audience. There never was. I mean, people walking through Galaxy's Edge. Well, Lawrence, that's a problem. We're dealing with a woman with a narcissistic personality disorder who's obviously a sociopath. Her husband has no control over her. If he did, she wouldn't be behaving like this. Okay. If she had someone that actually loved her, she'd probably be retired and under the care of a doctor. I'm not kidding. Okay, I'm not. I'm seriously not fucking kidding. Okay, this woman is clinically deranged. I mean, when Doomcock said that when Gina posted that on Instagram, that thing about the politics becoming the next, you remember, you saw that post. I had it up. And then she kind of made an evil smile. I'm like, you just need to get a life, you fucking cunt. Because that's what she is. I would have no problem telling her off to her face. I don't think any of us would. And now she's running scared. Okay, now she's scared. And I find it very interesting reading all that. I don't know, Lonely Seth. I really don't. I mean, it's really interesting. No one knows what goes on in a marriage. I really believe that. I like Frank. I think Frank is a cool guy. He's intelligent. He's talented. He's one of the guys that has always been by the side of George Lucas and Spielberg. And yeah, she has. But this shit that she pulls behind their backs, I mean, they gotta let her go. They can't just let her contract run out. I mean, this is killing. Look at what it's doing to Bad Batch. Look at how bad High Republic is doing. I'd be, if I was, yeah, and you're right, there are. But like I said, she's of a certain part of that generation that actually believed the bullshit, bra burning bullshit, Bella Abzug, and the bitch that wrote the feminine mystique. And a friend of mine said, "Well, you just have to read it." She's not a friend, actually, not anymore. And I said, "If you give me that book, I'm going to dump it in a dumpster, or I'll set it on fire." Okay, I don't like this shit. It divides people. It devalues men. Bullshit. Okay, fuck you. Keep that shit away from me. She is. She's not just killing Star Wars. She's killing the Disney brand. Now, can this shit bankrupt Disney? No, but I'm gonna tell you something. They need money. They need money bad. And you've got licensees saying we don't want to do this anymore. We're walking away. I mean, you know. Oh, I agree, John 42. I really do. And before I'm done for the day, before I go to bed, I am going to look up the emails of the investors, the investment houses that handle that show up at these meetings. And I'm going to say, why are you allowing this to go on? This has to stop. And I'm not just saying this because I love Star Wars and I hate what this woman is doing to the franchise, and what she's done to the franchise has nothing to do with it. It's what she's doing to Disney too. And the fact that there's money being left on the table because of her. You know. Well, if it's not, like I said, if she didn't make it, she's going to destroy it. If people don't like what she did, she's going to kill it. And that's exactly what the bitch is doing. She hates Gina Carano because the response to Gina was positive. The response to Ray was us pointing and laughing. Okay? I'm like, this has to end. This really, really does have to end. And I don't, what time is it now? Well, it's 12:37 on the West Coast. Usually around this time, announcements are made. Like I remember around 3, 4-ish, that they announced that Chuck Wendig was fired. And other things. But we all know why they resigned her to her contract. Because they couldn't find anybody else to take over. No one wanted the job at the end of this fucked up trilogy. That's how bad TLJ actually played in Hollywood. Okay? No one wanted that job. Let her go down in flames with it. But again, how do you get rid of her? I mean, she's done enough to be fired. No, I don't. I don't think Momita Sengupta belongs at that camp. I think she was probably hired by Disney. Kathy is sort of this person, it sounds like, when she actually did have the job, she'd float around and ignore everything until it became a bonfire. All right. The problems with Solo. She waited until it was 80% done before she said, holy shit, what have I done? And then she fired Lord Miller. Why'd she hire them in the first place? That's my question. Why did she hire John Kasdan in the first place? Nepotism? Because his daddy? That's the only reason why. The reason why Alden Ehrenreich, that movie was doomed because of nepotism, first off. Alden Ehrenreich got that job, got that role, because of Steven Spielberg. And now I know Spielberg regrets it every day of his life. And it's probably more for Ehrenreich than anybody else. Okay? I am livid with all this. I'm livid. All right? I can't do this anymore. I don't want You know, now we got Geeks and Gamers posting that they're going after Rosario. What else would they do? What else would they do? Kathy is fucking orchestrating burning down everything. And it's all fucking fake. And if the Bobs can't see it, you know, can you imagine somebody fucking up this badly in the Gambino family under Carlo Gambino? I mean, it was bad enough that when he was the boss, if you got caught selling drugs, and that was a big no-no, it didn't matter who you were. You could be the underboss, and you would be dead. You would be dead. That was a big no-no. It brought the feds. It brought the feds. And, you know, according to Kennedy, it still is, Lawrence. You know, Gotti, one of Gotti's best guys on his crew when he was capo, Angelo Ruggiero, was selling heroin, dealing heroin. And he was under federal investigation. There were tapes. And Gotti found out through a circuitous route. I was asking him, what are you doing? And he said nothing. And Ruggiero denied it. But, you know, he was lucky he didn't die, because a lot of people that did get into that life, associates, not made men necessarily, and they were made men that didn't last, because they were told, if you sell drugs, you're dead, period. Okay? They ran the businesses very much with the iron fist. But extra law, outside the law, you have to be careful. I would say within the law, Disney, you should be careful. Okay? Know what you bought, for Christ's sakes. What the fuck? Anyway, I got a dog that needs to go for a walk, so I gotta go. But anyway, if something happens, pray, Lord, please. Or if Doomcock dumps another video, I'll be back. You guys have a good day. Oh, and enjoy the little gift video that I made. You know, it's always darkest before the dawn. You know, that's cliche, but it's true. You know, Kennedy, you know, pride goes before a fall. And I think that's Proverbs. I'm not sure. Okay, Maze, we'll give Maze the floor. Okay. I'm literally... Oh, you're right, Mazaris. There shouldn't be any politics, but here we are. Yet, look. Office politics be damned. I mean, now she's got her own office people wanting her gone and pissed off at her. You know, oh, but we can keep her. What the fuck? I think tonight I'm going to have a glass of wine and watch The Devil Wears Prada. If you ever watch that movie, you're going to see a woman who literally sacrifices everything because she's really fucking good at her job. Okay? This is why she's so hard to deal with. And, oh, you're welcome. Hi, Dan. This is why she's so hard to deal with. Yeah, well, I mean, what is going on there? Yeah, and I believe it. In fact, the guys at Midnight's Edge said, yes, everything Doomcock said is true. How she could think she's going to win this battle is beyond me. I mean, she's daring the Bobs to fire her. Oh, you're right, Dominique. Fire her. Fire the bitch. Fire the fucking bitch. Do it today. It is 1:45. Where's the announcement? Where's the, it doesn't even have to be a press release. Just go out there and do it. Do it. We're done. We are fucking done. I am fucking done with this shit. I'm sick of it. I think we all are too. Anyway, I gotta go because the fur ball. And, oh, before I go, this morning I took a shower, got ready to go to my day. And I walked downstairs with the dog. He literally gets to the bottom of the stairs and jumps back. The toilet backed up. It was everywhere. Everywhere. It was in my husband's office. It was in the basement. It was awful. Oh yeah, you're right, Eastland. It was awful. So I've been basically sitting here. I brought out Christmas candles. Where are they? Oh, they're still lit. I think these guys were still lit. I had them upstairs hidden in a thing. It was so gross, you guys. I couldn't. Oh my God, there was crap, literally crap everywhere. I couldn't believe it. My husband had to come home for work. We had a heating and plumbing guy show up. He had to clean it out. The basement was just a joke. And it just, and of course my husband's office, it's gross. It's fucking disgusting. And I'm like, yeah, you better be happy you don't have smell-o-vision. Because I was like this over my candles. You know, we couldn't be outside all the time. What are we going to do? It's not that it's that cold out anymore, but still. The dog's like, can I go back and eat? I'm like, oh God. And of course, he wants to go chase the plumber around. Anyway, I gotta go. Gotta get him moving and grooving. So you guys have a good evening. If something else happens, I'll be back. See you around the galaxy.